So we had to get one of those because
So
we don't
how
have
do
a
you get
landline.
your internet?
We get through AT&T.
Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Chautauqua Sunrise is made possible by a grant from Fredonia Place, a continuing care retirement community providing dignity in a modern luxury environment. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie. Funding for Chautauqua Sunrise is provided in part by the Chautauqua County Industrial Development Agency, with offices in Jamestown, Dunkirk, and Westfield, helping businesses to prosper throughout Chautauqua County.
The Chautauqua Center.
Are you looking for affordable medical, dental, or counseling services? The Chautauqua Center is always accepting new patients at their Jamestown and Dunkirk locations. They offer discounted prescriptions and accept all insurances.
Okay, we had a little computer glitch there. That's new music in our new introduction there, but usually we have another part there. Anyways, we're here. Good morning. I'm Doc Hamels, and you're watching Chautauqua Sunrise, and thanks for joining us. Got to figure that part out again. All right. So, hope you're having a wonderful Saturday morning. It's like 60 degrees outside down in Ripley anyways, where we left. I think it's just a wee bit cooler up here in Mayville, the county seat. On our way up here, Emerald and I were looking around for snow. No snow in Ripley, and we didn't find it until we got to the top of the hill in Mayville. So it's slowly melting into Lake Erie, but still got a little bit up here in the higher elevations. All right, I want to say good morning to all of our listeners and viewers that are watching us today on Access Chautauqua. Glad you could join us. I want to say good afternoon to all of our listeners on WRFA 107.9, low power to the people in Jamestown, who listen to us on Tuesdays at 1 o'clock. Glad you could join us. And I want to say good morning to the world. We're streaming live everywhere you can possibly pick us up through Facebook. Last week we had quite a few folks that jumped in and had a view, at least for a minute or two. Glad you could join us. And as always, leave us a note. I'm going to say this for a few weeks yet, because we're going to. I have the map, but it was so big I couldn't get it into my vehicle today. So we're going to get it here sooner or later, and we're going to put it on the back wall and put stick pins in there. But we've had viewers from Arizona, Florida, New Jersey. We've had them from Europe, in different parts of the world, and of course all over Chautauqua County. So glad you could join us today. Okay, so leave us a note where you're from, and we appreciate that. All right, something else I was going to say. I can't. Oh, the new jingle, the new music in the beginning, just in case you want to know. It's called Sunrise Over the Mountain, and I thought that it was perfect. As I was coming in this morning, there was a Chautauqua sunrise for sure. It was really bright and just felt good, even though it's January 11th. Doesn't seem like it's January, it seems more like April. All right, they're popping up this reminder that if you're interested in giving us a call during the show, you can give us a call at 716-753-5225, and anywhere in the world you can call us. If you want to talk to me, my guest that's coming up here shortly, or you have an announcement, your club or organization is going to have a fundraiser let us know. Happy to talk about it for you. After all, this is all about Chautauqua County, not just what we do here. We have some announcements here shortly. Oh, I know, I was going to tell you. I have my dog Brody to thank for this. See my new glasses, Justin? Do I look very scholarly? Yeah, sure. Yesterday, I came home and I saw a pair of glasses on a chair, and I thought, where'd those glasses come from? They were all like nasty looking. And I realized they were my glasses. Brody decided he was going to have a little snack, and he chewed the end off of my glasses, my old pair. So I had to run down to Westfield Optical for an emergency run, and they outfitted me with a new set of frames. But oh my gosh, that dog is something else. You never know what he's going to get. Last thing I would have thought he was going to have my glasses. How about your dogs at home or cats? You got muddy paws this week? Holy mackerel, there's mud everywhere. All right. So let's get to some announcements. And this is show 289, Justin. I got it written down. Didn't ask you this time. All right, let's go to our announcements, and then we're going to get right to my guest. All right, let's start out with sip and paint. Last week I said slip and paint. My eyes were crossing. Yeah, it was slippery last week. All right, this is taking... You are. Jeff is talking to me through my earpiece here. At the Grape Discovery Center today at 2 o'clock, and that's over in Westfield on West Main Road. From 2 to 5, they're having their sip and paint. And the theme of this day is Winter Visitors, Cardinals in the Snow. All right, and this is something you can create with your friends and have a sip of wine perhaps, or a soft drink. And it's for $40. It's a 16 by 20 painting that you're going to leave with, and if you're interested, you can still call Lisa at 969-4859. $40 a person, and it sounds like a nice way to spend a Saturday afternoon. Again, today from 2 to 5 at the Grape Discovery Center. All right, our friends over at Rolling Hills Radio, episode 94, coming up this Monday. They're featuring Sean Patrick McGraw and Uncle Ben's Remedy at Shawbucks. So let's read a little bit about Sean and Uncle Ben's Remedy. Okay, Sean Patrick McGraw's music might be described as something like Lyle Lovett singing Springsteen songs while wearing Dwight Yoakam's hat. As a Nashville songwriter, he has earned respect among his peers. His song Fiona won top honors at the 2007 Independent Music Awards, first place at the American Songwriting Competition, and at Mountain Stage's New Song Festival, as well as being named finalist in the International Songwriting Competition and the Mid-Atlantic Song Competition. An esteemed Music Row critic, columnist, hailed Fiona as the classiest country rocker I've heard all year. McGraw tours extensively, including as the opener for Toby Keith, among others. This is according to Ken Harley, the host. We explore every aspect of Americana music, and Sean has a genuine respect and feel for alternative country, a crucial subgenre. He is indeed living the life of an Americana artist, which isn't easy. And Sean is a native of Chautauqua County, and so we welcome him back to the area. And that sounds like a great concert. Right along with Sean, there's going to be Uncle Ben's Remedy. The sound of Uncle Ben's Remedy is rooted in the small towns of western New York, where community still matters and music is part of every event. The boys learn to play and sing in this small town atmosphere, giving their music the honest back porch feel of the country music they love. Uncle Ben's Remedy is Ben Westland, Harmony Griffin, Sean Eustace, Brendan O'Connor, and Jimmy Royce. It's like a bunch of Irishmen. Playing all sorts of traditional and rock and roll instruments and stomping the floors, all while singing their hearts out in service to the song. They are rapidly gaining a reputation as a force to be noticed with their high-energy performances full of humor, delivered in well-constructed songs. According to Harley, this is not the first time our show has had an up-and-coming musical entity take the stage. While they seem to be turning heads wherever they go, I'm not going to be surprised if these guys continue to surpass the expectations they had entering this lion's den of touring bands. Sounds like a fun thing to do. The Lions Den of touring band. But it's true. Musician's life is a tough life for at times, speaking from personal experience. But it's always nice to see new and upcoming groups coming through. All Rolling Hills radio sessions take place at Shawbucks across from Jamestown's Ice Arena. Doors open to all those holding or purchasing tickets at 5:30 for the Rolling Happy Hour. Food and drink are available until 6:15, at which time audience members take their seats and the house lights dim. Audio and video recording begins promptly at 6:30. They tape all their shows and then they're televised at a later date. The bar reopens for 10 minutes at intermission, and then again after the show when the audience and performers are invited to a meet and greet. So you can meet Sean and Uncle Ben's group there, Remedy, and talk to them about their music and so forth. Tickets are only $15. For tickets, you can give them a call at 294-0416 or go on their website, Rolling Hills Radio, all one word, .org/tickets. All right. One of the things that's really popular more and more each year is something called Doors Open Jamestown, and that's going to take place a week from today, January 18th. It says, "Come one, come all, Doors Open Jamestown, on January 18th. It's free at local attractions and designed to welcome area residents to visit amazing places right here in our own backyard." I don't know how many times we live right down the road from something, we never even go to it. Well, this is an opportunity, folks, for the locals to check out all the cool things that people come in every year to pay to see. Designed to invite area residents to visit and learn about local museums, galleries, and assets we have right here in our community. Doors Open Jamestown features something for everyone, whether you're interested in history, comedy, nature, or art. Most attractions will be open from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. with free admission. Hours may vary at some locations. In addition, dozens of local restaurants and retail shops will be open for your shopping and dining pleasure on that day. The list of participating attractions so far includes, it's pretty extensive, Audubon Community Nature Center, the Bus-Dye Grist Mill, Chautauqua Harbor Hotel, Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame, Children's Activity Corner, the DAR House, Fenton History Center, James Prendergast Library, Lucille Ball Desiarnaz Museum, Mart's Coal Observatory, the National Comedy Center. But please remember, you have to pre-register and get tickets ahead of time for that. Marvin Community House, Reg Linnaeus Center for the Arts, Robert H. Jackson Center, and Roger Torrey Peterson Institute. Whew. Additional sites may be added, so check it out with the Chamber of Commerce and see what's on their website. All right, let's go to Fredonia now. Title of this is "Let's Help Fredonia Win the Small Business Revolution." Now, some of us have been keeping track of this, but they're finalists in the opportunity to win big money. So let me just read it real quick. The top 5 communities for Season 5 of Small Business Revolution will be announced at 6:45 a.m. in the morning. What a strange time. Tuesday, January 14th. That's coming up. Join us to watch the live stream reveal Tuesday morning at the 1891 Fredonia Opera House. The doors will open at 6:30 so we can be in place and ready to view the official announcement. Justin, are you covering that? No, too early. Okay. Our fingers are crossed that Fredonia will make it into the top 5. But even before that announcement, you can sign up now for voting reminders and qualify for the Vote My Fredonia contest. Over $1,000 in prizes will be given out, including Buffalo Bills tickets, Buffalo Sabres tickets, Florida condo stay, travel not included, this little footnote there, and many prizes donated by local Fredonia businesses. When you sign up for email and text reminders, you get more chances to win. Go to Vote My Fredonia, all one word, votemyfredonia.com for more information and to sign up. You can also sign up for text reminders by texting MyFredonia 31996. Small Business Revolution is a production of Deluxe, provides the winning community. This is where I wish I had a little drum roll. The winner gets $500,000, $500,000 in business revitalization funds and a platform to showcase the transformation on TV which is hosted by Amanda Brinkman and the guy we all know, Ty Pennington, and aired on Hulu and Amazon Prime. Previous winning communities for seasons 1 through 4 have been Wabash, Indiana, I guess that is, Bristol Borough, Pennsylvania, Alton, Illinois, and Searcy, Arizona. The ramp up of small business revolution in Fredonia has already made a big impact on their community. People pulled together in a variety of ways that create a renewed sense of vitality and camaraderie. It has been inspiring to be part of the energy around this project, according to the folks up there, and they hope everybody will join in. So get out there and vote, and let's support our neighbors in Fredonia. All right, let's see what else we got here. Just a couple more. Mayville Winter Festival. Oh boy. Maybe, maybe not. We'll have snow, who knows. The holidays may be over, but one of the best events of the winter is yet to come. The President's Day Weekend Winter Festival is February 14th through the 16th, right down the road from here at Lakeside Park in Mayville. This spectacular annual event celebrates our wonderful winter season here in Chautauqua County. It features construction of a large, maybe ice castle on the shore of Chautauqua Lake, as it says, weather permitting, at 6 p.m. February 14th, followed by the Queen of Hearts Ice Ball under the Big Tent from 6:30 to 9:30. That sounds like fun. Throughout the weekend, there will be activities, games, crafts, vendors, and a beer and wine tent, carriage rides, ice hockey and ice fishing contest, or just fishing contest, a snowball contest, or something else, chili cook-off, music, water balloons, hadn't thought of that. Pull or plunge no matter what to benefit food pantries in Western New York. A 5K run by Chautauqua Striders, an amazing fireworks display, and a whole lot more. Volunteers are needed for a variety of positions during this huge event. If you want to help, give them a call at 366-6200 and ask for Jacqueline Sasso. Or you can contact her at jsasso@chautauquachamber.org. This is a fun event, people, and if you have never been to it, check it out. Regardless of the weather and us picking on the snow, it's a great time to get out in the middle of February. We all have cabin fever. Kids are chomping on the door handles to get outside, and just a lot of things to do there, and a lot of it's free. Okay, 19th annual poster contest. This is through Prevention Works. The 19th annual contest is going to be for the 2020 Alcohol Awareness Month poster contest. Yeah, alcohol awareness. Open to all Chautauqua County students in grades 3 through 12, and the theme this year is Prevention Works. The deadline to submit posters is Friday, March 13th, and if you're interested, you can go to preventionworks, all one word, .us, or give me a call at 366-4623. That's it for announcements for today. See how easy that was? If you have an announcement, like I said, send it to us, or email it to us, or call us, whatever, and we'll happy to get it on. We're going to take a breather. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born, and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
That's the first time I saw that one. Brody looks at me sometimes, and I wonder what he's thinking. Well, anyways, there's a lot of animals in shelters that could use a good home, and so do think about that. All right. Well, those of you that watch this show on a regular basis knows that we've had a variety of authors, writers. I've had Western, cozy mystery. That's actually a genre I found out. We just had Jeff Julian not long ago, and he was talking about his book helping brand new teachers to figure out their jobs and how to navigate the crazy world of education. Yeah, I hear that, Si. Let's see, what else? We've had sci-fi. We've had teen romance, another author, not today's author. We had Jim McQuiston, the author of the Oak Island mystery and so forth. So today we've invited back a good friend of ours, Michelle Flick. who has a series of books, and she's going to talk about her newest book here in a little bit. So good morning, Michelle.
Good
How are you?
morning. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, you know, I keep an eye out for local folks because this is all about Chautauqua County, the show. And I think you had popped up something on Facebook that you had just completed another book. And I just sat there going like, how cool is that? I mean, to me, writing is really a cool thing. And I don't think a lot of younger folks, perhaps, a different generation either appreciates the writing process or even picks up a book because everything's, you know, on a
Kindle.
iPad or Kindle or something like that. But tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got to be a writer.
So I've always liked to write. I started writing when I was in high school and started writing a book when I had, you know, the big desktops, when they, you know, one of the gateway computers, and went to SUNY Fredonia and majored in secondary English. And then in one of my master's courses, a Dr. Terrence Mosier, who really drove me in my education field, he said, I want you guys to work on getting published. And it was like the very first time someone had ever said, like, you can be published. And it was this novel idea, and everyone went around the room and said what they were going to work on.
All right,
Articles.
why did he want you to be published? What was the idea behind it?
It was the course was on secondary writing, and so I think it was more of a challenge to us, and people were going around the rooms, they were going to write about an article, they were going to do an interview, they were going to do a poem, and he got to me and he's like, well, Michelle, and I go, I'm going to write a novel. And he's like, he just looked at me, he's like, well, that's a pretty big goal. And I go, it is. And I was super excited about it. I was going to do this. Yeah. And he was super encouraging, and then my classmates were super encouraging. And by the time the class was over in a 6-month period, I had this little, it was a finished story, because when you write, you're never actually done. So then I started teaching, which your first year of teaching, as your previous probably said, it's incredibly consuming. And so it's very overwhelming, and you're trying to do a good job, and it's your first job, and you want to knock it out of the ballpark, and you never do because it's your first year. And so it kind of got put on the back burner. And I loved teaching, and it was fine. And then all of a sudden, a friend approached me about my book that I wrote, and she said she wanted to get into it. And so kind of as a pair, we just wrote together. And then I finished my first book. And then I was like, what do I do with it? It was done. Everyone had edited it that I could think of. And what do I do with a book now that I have it? Like, who do I contact? Like publishing agencies, there's query agents, there's all these things, and it was, again, very overwhelming. So I ended up tripping into the world of book blogging. Do you know what book blogging is?
Sort of, but go ahead.
You basically read and review books, and this network of super supportive people, and through that I tumbled into independent publishing.
All right, so let's go back to book blogging. So it's like you throw your book out there, and people say, "Oh, this is like pretty cool," or
yes, partially. So part of it is I will take, say if you wrote a book, I would read your book and I would set up a review.
Okay.
And so any book that I ever read, I could review, and I started dialogue and got to meet people. And then when you've got like a following, then you're like, oh, by the way, would anybody like to read this book? And you know, it's a very supportive community. And again, it introduced me to independent publishing, which I went through Create Space and through several cover designers. I used a former student of mine to take the pictures, and now another former student does all of my book covers for me. So it's all very independent. There's no big business. It's small business concept, and through Create Space / Amazon, my books go up and out there immediately, almost, as opposed to going through the traditional publishing route, which is very, very consuming and long and arduous, and maybe might not work out for me. So I get to complete my goal.
You want immediate gratification.
Yeah, I do.
You don't want to go through all this 2 years.
I don't want to wait forever.
Have some some horn-rimmed editor sitting
Tell
in an
me it's
office
bad.
on
I
the
don't wanna talk to
42nd
them.
floor of some skyscraper saying, "This is a bunch of garbage.
Yeah, I don't have time for
Try
that.
this again."
I worked very hard. Don't tell me that.
But you have to have feedback, right?
You 100% have to have.
Is that hard to take?
Sometimes, I think you start. I have two very good friends that I've actually never met, that I've been friends with for like 9 years at this point. That we're incredibly positive with our feedback. That first round when you first give your book baby to somebody that you've worked months on, and they're super. Erica and Kamal are just super. Positive, and they give good feedback. And then I have kind of like outer circles of people who are going to be a little harder, a little harsher, a little bit more critical after I've like worked out some of the kinks. So I think you definitely need those critical and harder views because it only makes you better. And you have to understand that like if they picked up on it, somebody else is going to pick up on it. So you might as well just fix it.
I wrote a thing one time, and I gave it to my mom to read because it's like whatever. And she's like, "Well, I lost what happened in this scene." I go, "It's there, Ma. You missed it." It's like because she was in her upper 80s and maybe she missed something or I don't know. But it was like, wow, I won't give her that anymore.
It's hard. You're like, it's perfect. It's not, because writing's never perfect. But.
And then another time I sent something to somebody and they said, "Well, I wouldn't write this in the third person. I would write this, or you're writing this in the first person." I don't know. It was a different voice and going like, "Huh?" I mean,
that's a big difference.
There's a
lot
of stuff here, that I think about. I hadn't even thought about that.
It's a lot, and you definitely have to know writing like grammatics. You need to understand plot structures. You have to have an end game, and again, the feedback is critical, and you have to be good to those people. And I'm very blessed with a great critical circle that I've cultivated through the years, and like are almost as invested in my book series as I am because they've been part of it.
Okay, I just got a question in my earpiece. I'm just going to ask the question: do you write inductively or deductively?
Inductively.
Inductively? Okay. So between my earpiece and you, what is the difference?
This is a really hard question to put me on the spot. Thanks. He's laughing. I can hear him through
all
the
way
walls.
To the wall. Yeah.
I guess inductively to me is, you put it onto the paper. I guess I don't consider myself inductive or deductive. I guess my term for me is panster. Have you ever heard that? Panster. I think I brought this up last time on my interview.
Panster.
But I don't write sequentially. I write like how my mind works. Dink, 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 dink. I'm going to end up here, but it's going to go all over the place.
Yeah, see, that's my mother's problem.
Here.
She wasn't panster. I'm a panster.
Right, like I have all these ideas and I have these great scenes, and then I like piece them together. So I guess I have never really considered myself inductive or deductive.
Okay. All right. Okay. I didn't ask the question. I just shared
We're going to have a conversation when I get out of here, just so we're clear.
Be on guard, Jeff. Okay, so you were in college, and the prof challenged you. When I was in college, the professor said to me, Mr. Hamels, I was Mr. at the time.
Oh, not Doc?
Not Doc. I was a previous life, and he said, "I need to see you in the hallway after class."
That's scary.
That's never good, right? Never good.
Never a good thing.
And I was in my administration program, to be superintendent and all that stuff. And my shirt must have been soaked. I mean, I was like, what? And this guy was a nice guy. And he meets me in the hallway, and he says, he looks at me, he says, you got a gift. And I go like,
deep sigh.
What? Well, he encouraged me to work on my PhD because there's a lot of writing in PhD world.
A lot.
And,
clinical writing.
So from that point on, I was inspired to write, just write, period. Regardless if it was for a PhD, which I ended up getting, but people do cheer you on, don't they?
They do. It's super important, especially because it can be sad and hard, and like you want to give up at points. So I think anyone who's considering writing or pursuing higher education, like find yourself a circle.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah, it's easy to get knocked down because people some people out there like to do that. So
quicker to do
so college got you started writing, and now do you have a particular genre?
I started off in more science fiction, fantasy realm. My latest series, the one that just was completed, is more of a contemporary romance. It's a compilation of 4 standalone stories that kind of are interwoven. The characters stay there, but it focuses on different couples throughout a year span.
You said your latest series. How many series do you have?
I have a total of 3 series and 1 standalone.
Wow. So that's multiple. How many books altogether?
Now we're gonna make me do math. Like
I can do it. You just yelled out all.
I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out there.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow, that's terrific. So, what's the end game for folks like you that are teaching and you write? I mean, and I'm going to be perfectly blunt. I mean, is this an income producing thing? Is this like a sideline, a hobby? Is it something that you can't control and it just consumes you and you do it because you have to? It's multiple choice answer.
Okay, well, can I have D, all of the above?
Sure.
Great, D, all of the above. At first it was like something that I wanted to really do. I wanted to see my name in Barnes and Nobles and have that moment of like the selfie with the picture and be like, it's me. That was for sure it. And, I would love to eventually go down the traditional route. I think that would mean, like, to me, that would mean I've met and completed the entire goal that way. It is a side hustle because I do make money off of it. Nothing like, it foots a few bills, but nothing that's going to like. I still have to stay a teacher.
Don't quit the day job yet.
I'm not quitting my day job anytime soon. But I also have 2 little ones at home. I have a 4-year-old, Finn, and a daughter, 6.
You gonna give a shout out to them? Go ahead.
Hi Emma, hi Finn. Love you guys. Hopefully you're watching and they figured it out at home. But eventually it turned out I wanted my kids to always have passion. And my husband's very good at this. He is very passionate about sports and wrestling and, I think exudes that. And I also wanted them to have a mother that did as well. So I went that route of writing. And my daughter for the first time was like, "You wrote a book?" Like my mom is a writer. And she just thought it was really cool.
How old is she?
She's 6.
Okay.
So she's like, "Can I read that summer?" And I was like, "No." Probably not. Not at the moment, kid. But, she just thought it was very cool. And, I wanted them to see a mom who had goals. And then now that they're older and they start talking about what they want to do, Emma wants to be an art teacher, a music teacher, and an elementary teacher all wrapped in one, which I love. And then my son, though, wants to be a rock star. That's what he wants to do with his life. And I love every second of that. And I want him to think that that's a possibility. I want them both to think whatever you want to do, you can do it. And I want them to see a mom that does that and not just says it, but follows through. Because I believe, especially with my education background, kids follow modeling. And if you model the behavior, they're going to do it far more than if you just say, you can do anything you want. Well, I can do anything I want, so therefore you can do anything you want.
Absolutely.
So it definitely changed once I became a mom.
Wow.
So.
Great storyline.
Yeah.
You mentioned time. You're a mom, you're teaching, and I know that everything we create has a different time frame. For instance, I write music. People say
he's very good, everybody.
Nah.
I've seen him. Yes, he is. Don't let him fool you. He's very talented. If you can ever go see Doc, I highly recommend it.
All right. But when I write a song, sometimes it just gushes out. I mean, it's like, get the paper, hold the presses, get me a pencil in my hand, and it comes out, the whole thing. Other times, it's like I get one line and I look at the paper for months and months. And there's one
But
song,
you love that line.
I love that line. I'm not giving it up. I have all these little pieces of paper with these one lines I never finish. But is that the way it is for you?
Writing becomes very consuming to me. Like if I get a story in my head, I'm sure my husband knows it because he sees me in the dining room away from everybody and I am just typing as much as I can in between getting a lunch or folding a stack of laundry. Like, it's a lot of juggling, but I have to get it down, at least the bigger pieces. So that comes out very, very quickly. And then, because going back to being a pantser where I kind of like scatter all around, the bridging to the novels, the bridging of the events in the novels takes longer, because those aren't as consuming as that one line that was just, I had to get this down, I need to have it down before I forget it, because I just feel like it's that good that it needs to be on paper.
Where do you draw down your ideas, do you think? And I say, do you think, because sometimes I don't know for myself.
A little bit of everything. My very first one of that summer is the characters are Remy and Jack, and a lot of it is based on my husband and myself.
Oh, I think Brad loves that.
I'm sure he absolutely is thrilled that I announced that to
can't wait
everybody.
to see. Hey, Jack.
Yeah, start calling him that. And I think that I think most writers draw on personal experience or visions. I'm a fantastic people watcher. I love to people watch, and I can create stories about people passing by. Like, it's just something that naturally happens, and I think people who are generally creative can do that. And I think I draw on those inspirations and personal feelings.
So if you and I jumped in a car and we went to a city, and I picked a city, I don't know why, and we're sitting let's just go into.
Can you sit in Starbucks?
We're sitting in Starbucks in Buffalo, and we're looking out the window, and you and I are doing this interview, and people are passing by. Do you do this, like, I wonder what the story is behind that person, and you start to create the story? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I typically will, if I see like an interaction, like so somebody standing at the Starbucks counter and it's a mom who's got a toddler and she's rifling through her purse, I can think of 20 different reasons why she's that way and where she's late to and what her life, like I can just create something based on a snapshot of an image. Or a moment in
You're
time.
writing the story and I'm writing a song line.
We can. We have a TV show, everybody. We're going to do another TV show.
Okay. So, yeah, because I think that's what people often wonder is, where do you get the ideas? How does this all happen? So do you get writer's block?
Oh, yes. Yes.
How would you define writer's block?
The most frustrating thing. Because you sit there and you're like, I know what I need to do. But everything you write down, you backspace it, you cross it off. It's just not there. But that's also when I go to my circle. Like, this is where I'm at, folks. Give me some ideas, and they will springboard me through. Because again, the circle is invested in the series as much as I am. So they know my characters. They know what my end game is. And even if I don't take their suggestions, they've given me things to think about. So I use them to get me through.
Do they ever get their noses out of joint if you don't use their suggestions?
No.
No,
No.
it's just
They know what it
I'm
is.
not married to this idea. Just try it out and see what you think. If not, cool. I'll save it for somebody else.
Right. Absolutely. 100%. And again, it's that finding that circle of supportive people to get you through. Because writer's block can last a long time.
So these books are a series. So how about let's talk about the series and hold up each book and tell us a little bit, maybe the storyline or whatever you want to talk about. So these are all the same title?
No, well, they're all through the South Shore series. I don't have the fourth one that just came out.
And we'll talk about that in a minute.
So what it was is the first one that summer is based on a couple, Remington Crawford and Jack Monroe, and they meet when they're 18.
Okay.
And they, are wild about each other, and then she leaves because she goes back to college and
Say it's not true.
I know, she had goals.
My
and
heart
she
is
went
aching already.
I know, she went through and
the anguish.
he never really got over her, and she never got over him, and then her life goes very badly. And then so when she's like 27, she shows back up looking for him.
We're talking years later?
Yes, we're talking years later. It's like almost a decade.
This is book one?
This is book one.
All right,
so it's kind of told in flashbacks, and what it is, though, is she goes back to the place where she felt the safest and the best, and it was with him. But he's kind of moved on because she didn't come back.
Yeah.
Because you can't wait forever.
Yeah, what the heck?
And so it's a series of them getting back to one another.
All right, so who's your readership for this? Who's your target?
I'd say probably 25 to 35 year
Oh,
old.
really?
Yeah, older,
Oh.
I guess. But anyone who really loves a second chance romance.
Second chance.
Second chance romance. I'm going to do that instead of doing age.
Okay.
So there's that one. And then there's some new characters introduced, which takes me to that fall, which...
All right, so when did you write this one? What year? Or approximately. You know.
2015.
Oh, so these are relatively
Yeah.
new books.
This
All
was,
right.
I want to say this is the book that I talked about on the show with you the first time.
So this, that's right. That was the first book. I remember
So then
that.
I've written 3 more about them since.
Wow.
I know.
All right. So it's been a while since you were
I
here.
know, it has been.
All right.
So then this one is that fall, following the seasonal timeline. And their best friend falls in love. And he's kind of a flirt. And he doesn't really want to settle down. And he finds a great girl who understands his backstory and is patient with him. And spoiler alert, they fall in love.
Imagine that.
I imagine that. They all fall in love. They're all happy endings, folks, just because I have to have it.
All right. But so far, the theme I'm seeing is there by water. Why water?
The story is set in a make-believe town called South Shore. It's in Georgia.
Oh, do they have southern accents?
Yes. There's a lot of y'alls in there.
Are you from the south?
No. I do say y'all, though, don't I, Emerald? She does.
Y'all be careful now.
Y'all be careful right now.
All right, so down south. All right.
So, and then this next one is Jack, who's in my first book's little sister, falls in love, and they have a very, there we go. There's a crucial scene for the Monroe family that really kind of glues them together in this one, but she has this one as well. And then finally, I can't talk too much because it starts to give away everything.
Yeah.
And I don't want to
No, we
spoil
wanna do
everything.
that.
And then the final one, which is that spring, tells the story of Jack's parents.
And we have a picture of the cover, right?
do,
All
'cause I haven't gotten it
Can we
yet.
pop that up, Jeff?
Maybe not.
Yeah, we have it. I'm sure we do.
There
See?
it is.
There it is. That's spring.
So that's Erica and oh my God, why am I forgetting the name?
I
In a
can't
minute.
help you.
I know. That's the Monroes, mom and dad. And actually they're named after 2 of my friends, and I always call them Chief, so I want to call them Chief, but that's not Zach. Zach is the name. So that's Erica and Zach Monroe, who start basically the whole thing, and then we flash back to them and how they got together, which helps Remy and Jack from the first
All right,
story.
so how old are Remy and Jack now?
Remy and Jack at the end of the series is 27 and 29, and the parents are in their 50s. So they go back and you tell the story of them being 18 and them falling in love.
Oh.
So, which kind of helps Remy and Jack because they've got a big problem. Not a big problem, a big blessing
Big blessing. All right.
that they have to figure out.
Figure it out. Wow.
It's a lot. It's a lot of information.
So you take a journey as the vessel. I mean, you really don't have control. You lose control. I mean, everything, music, writing, art. People I've talked to, they really are out of control. They just it goes through you. Did this series go the direction you thought it was going to go?
I meant it to be a standalone. I meant to write Remy and Jack's story because it was something that was very personal to me. I felt, I basically had to get it all on paper. It was a very, very quick process. Like the story was ultimately very clear. But people fell in love with Jared, who is in book 2, and I had several of my writing friends in my circle and readers who I'd never met ask for his story. Like they were actually really upset that Jared and Remy didn't end up together because they just loved his character so much. So they kind of
Poor Jared.
pushed me into it. And then once I did that fall, I'm like, well, got to do that winter and that spring then. Full season. So all 4 seasons. So that's kind of, it wasn't my intention. It just kind of took on its own.
So that
Life.
spring is it for this series?
Yep, at the moment.
At the moment.
Well, I had a friend of mine gave me a really great idea that I should flash forward 20 years and tell the kid's story. And then so you can bring back, which he just threw it out at me like 3 days ago. And it's a great idea. So I say at the moment, because you just never know when you never know when you're gonna find inspiration in Starbucks.
So, do you have any idea how big your readership is?
No idea. And it's almost to the point where I care because, I'm putting my heart and soul into this, but at the same time, I'm not doing it gather people. Like, it's great when people tell me, Ev from the Bark Grill down in Westfield.
Yeah,
so
quite glad.
I love Ev to pieces. She's been with me since the very, very beginning in 2012. And she told me Christmas Day she spent reading that spring. It was like one of those most really like surreal, heartfelt moments that I don't know if she'll ever know what it meant to me that she spent her holiday with me.
Yeah.
But, you know, and it's having like those solid people that really reach out to me. Would I love a strong fan base and a bigger fan base? Absolutely. But I think the goal is just to follow my dream and put it on paper and get it out there.
Okay.
And that's, you know, then you stay away from those critical and it's too much. I don't want to think about it.
Okay, we have a phone call. Would you like to take call?
Sure.
All right, good morning, caller.
All right.
Good morning,
Hi.
Doc. Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning.
Michelle, it's so exciting to see you on the show today. This is Linda Spalding. I think it's just wonderful what you've been talking about your books and your creativity, your inspiration, your examples to your children.
Thank you.
Congratulations. It's
Thank you.
wonderful to hear from you, and good luck. And I'm going to be getting your books. I'm very excited about it.
Ta-da!
Awesome. Thank you. It's super helpful.
You know, this is we're very fortunate in this area. We have a lot of local authors,
We do.
and it's so encouraging for those of us who want to make endeavors in the world of creativity and literature and music. So we have somebody that comes here in the summer. She works for one of the papers in New York City. She's an editor. She writes a sleuth series,
Oh.
Murders in Chautauqua.
Oh, specific.
Minnie Goldman, that's her series, and she teaches a course on self-publishing too.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's kind of interesting. She brought out that there are a lot of authors, famous authors that we know of, that were told by publishers like, the Stephen King.
Yeah, I was going to say Stephen King, probably.
Stephen
yeah.
King, yeah. They tell him nobody wants to read your bloody, horrible story.
Oh,
And
there was
now
good
look at
reason. I can't read him during at night. I can
no,
only
not
watch
at
him.
night.
I can only
Movies
read him
are
during the day.
terrifying, too.
He's scary.
But he's super successful.
I know
and-
it. But he had to self-publish. There's a lot of authors today that had to go into self-publishing first in order to get there. That's getting your publication out. That's the important thing.
Right. It is. I agree. It's word of mouth and building a background. So
Yes. Well, good luck.
Thank
I
you.
also wanted to say, Doc, I went down to your Council for the Arts in Westfield.
Uh-huh.
I went to the open house on last Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
What an amazing place!
I told you.
Oh,
it is beautiful.
She's talking about the Lakeshore Center for the Arts there
Yeah.
at the church on the third floor. There's an art gallery and a theater. Did you see Did you go into the theater at all?
Oh, I went through the whole thing. I got a tour. It was wonderful.
Is it amazing?
Oh, it is.
It's a new gem that a lot of people are discovering.
Oh,
I've had
it-
great opportunity to play there and be in productions already. So it's just a lot of fun. And the art, you know, the Miss Knappenberger's artwork there is just really quite
I
interesting.
know it. I saw her artwork.
Yeah.
All of the artwork.
Yeah,
It's
and
done.
photography, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. I'm so glad I went.
Oh, glad you went.
I'm glad that announcement was made because
Yeah. How would you know?
yeah. Well, I wanted to say that I'm also calling about the Senior Employment Program.
Okay.
We have employment services with the Senior Employment Program with the Chautauqua County Office for the Aging and other senior services. The number in Mayville to call is 753-4471.
All right, and you can check them out on Facebook and give them a phone call, or they got a website, I'm pretty sure. But do check it out, folks. And the Office for the Aging has so many services beyond the employment that people should know about, and we're going to continue to support that.
Thank you
Oh,
very much.
you
What?
know, Linda, I can't believe I forgot to do this. Thank you for reminding me. I have an announcement that I was going to share here. And where did I put it? You go ahead and finish talking. I gotta
Okay, well,
find it.
thank you. Have a great day. It's
Thank you for
beautiful.
calling.
Oh, thank you. Good luck with everything.
Thank
Michelle, and it's a beautiful day out there. It's a day that would inspire writing, I think.
Oh, maybe I'll have to get some done today.
Yeah, it'll be called That January Thaw.
Like January thaw, it is 6 degrees in January.
Have a great week. Thank you.
Thanks,
too.
Linda. Oh my
Bye-bye.
gosh. Thank you for bringing that up, Linda, about seniors and stuff. I digress for one moment. This is from the Office of the Inspector General. I wanted to share with everybody that I got through email. It's called a scam alert, and anybody that's involved with Social Security and so forth, I'm just going to read parts of this real quick. I'll talk about it again next week. But the Inspector General of Social Security, Gail Enos, is warning the public that telephone scammers may send faked documents by mail to convince victims to comply with their demands. The Social Security Administration Office of the Inspector General has received reports of victims who have received emails with attached letters and reports that appeared to be from Social Security and so forth. The letter may use official letterhead and government jargon to convince victims they are legitimate. They also contain misspellings and grammar mistakes. They should have had you.
Should have had me.
This is the latest variation of the Social Security phone scams, which continue to be widespread throughout the United States, using robocalls and live callers and so forth. I just got to let you know that they're going to threaten you to arrest you. I don't know how many times I was going to be arrested. Promise a benefit of increased assistance, require payment of some kind of a retail gift card and so forth. Please, 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 if anybody calls you like that, just hang up. Don't argue with them. Don't say anything.
Click.
Just hit
Click.
that button. Click. All right, so I'll talk about that again next week. I'm going to sit there right over there. I'm glad Linda's it. Well, what the judge was talking to me, but this was coming in letter form, but the documents, if you have any questions, always call the Social Security offices. Don't accept anything. Don't do anything without checking into it. All right, we still have time here to talk to Michelle Flick, a local author, okay, the books look all about the same thickness. All right, some writers I've seen, the books are fat, some are skinny, and so forth. I mean, do you like say, I think I'll do this 120 pages? That should be good. I mean, how do you do that?
I don't. It just happens.
Just happens.
I don't set out to write a page number because a couple of my other books are actually thicker and bigger and are longer. It's more about getting the story down and being true to the story. I don't want to fill it, and I don't want to cut something out to hit a page number. Though my cover designer always asks, well, how long is this going to be so I can start like doing dimensions? And I was like, can we wait? Like, can we wait a little while longer? She's like, yes. So she starts the process and then like patiently waits for me to like be like, it's 130 pages or it's 225. Like, so she waits for me as I figure it out.
So we were talking about when people approach you or say they've read your book. So that's pretty gratifying, isn't it?
It's awesome. Like it makes me just thinking about it like smile ear to ear. Like to have someone, even if they didn't love my work, to at least appreciate the value and time it takes to write, to appreciate that I put it out there, and even speaking to me about it is just really just puts me on cloud nine, where people will say that they left me a review on Amazon, which is the best thing you can do for an author, is leave them reviews, because people read them, and those things are when people say like, I left a review for you, thank you for doing it. It's just a very it's very gratifying, it's very supportive, and it's just.
Is it scary?
The very first, like the first bad review that you get, or where someone's like, I didn't love the story, or first time they're critical, the first one hurts because it is your baby. Like you put a lot of time and effort into it. But after the first one, you're like, you can't appease everybody. Everything that you like, I don't love everything that I read, and I'm never going to criticize somebody for being honest. Yeah. But they still left me a review, and that still helps. So
I remember a lesson I learned early on in my music career. A woman came up to me one day and she just said, "Oh my God, you sing just like Willie Nelson." Well, first of all, Willie Nelson has a shrill voice, and that wasn't exactly what I was looking for. and she was really, really inebriated. and then, yeah, he's laughing. And so then another person said, you know, like, you guys really stink, you know, or what. So it gets to the point where you got to know yourself. You got to know your art. You got to know where you're coming from. And you got to take the compliments and say, thank you very much. And you got to take the criticism and say, thank you very much. Process it, right?
You do. I mean,
and don't let it throw you either way. You can't get a big head about this.
No, and I think knowing yourself is a great thing. Like, I don't do this for the critical people, but they do make me better. Like, you can criticize me, you know, if you find, like, I had someone find it, like, I found a typo. Okay, but you know what I did? I went back in, I fixed the typo, and now that typo doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
So thank you for your criticism.
Right.
Yes, it stung because I missed it, but it essentially does make you better. But knowing yourself allows you not to fall into that negativity.
I write a monthly column through Silver Magazine. A lot of my viewers know this. And I am the worst editor in the world for myself.
Oh, I'm awful for myself. I depend
Why
on
is
other
that?
people.
Why is that?
I say this actually to my students. Emerald will probably verify this. You write it down and you think it's great, and it is, but you don't pick up on the fact that you missed a spacing or that you missed a capitalization, or
You blow right by it.
You
right?
blow right by it because in your mind's eye,
It's complete.
It's right. Like, because I meant to do this, and if the computer doesn't autocorrect it, like when you write, you have to have another trusted, grammatically educated friend.
Someone that you know is not going to step on your neck. Yeah, it's a very sensitive area, to say the least. And
It's a hard area.
It's a hard area. So, is there a ballpark for you, not for anybody, but for you, from start to finish? Are we talking 6 months, a year? Just every time it's different?
I would say on average now it's between 6 months to a year. It depends on what's going on in life. You know, sometimes I publish, the funny part is that I've published in 6 months by having an infant, because an infant sits, like, they don't move. So, like, I can do stuff when they're an infant. But when my kids are in the toddler stage, it takes longer. So outside world influences, I think, my how fast I can get it through. And then my editing people are busy, so I can't give them a book and expect them just to do me all the time.
Do you pay an editor?
Through what we do is we typically it's kind of like a give and get. Like, so I'll edit for them, and they'll edit for me, and then my people who aren't into writing, I give them the books for free. So, like, it's kind of a compensation that way. So it's not very on demand.
So you really don't have a lot of money exchange, because everybody is a poor writer.
Right, everyone's a poor writer and looking to support someone else, and we barter our abilities.
So a lot of times people, when I talk with them about their books, they talk about the format, and that's maybe not the right word, but for instance, one writer told me within the first, I think it was 40 pages, they had to create the crisis, or they had to do something to get things. In other words, you build the scene, and then you gotta, like, let's get moving here. You can't wait too long. Is that pretty much how you do it?
Yes, because I mean, when you follow the plot structure of exposition, rising action, climax that you learned in middle school, all of my students, I teach this. Emerald again will support it. You have to draw in your reader, so there is pressure to start like some inciting incident to get them to stay hooked, especially in the independent realm, because they're taking a chance on you. So you have to hook them quickly to get it moving, I feel.
Is it hard for people not to figure out the ending of the book, or do you not care?
I think I do like to throw a twist in every book, just to be like, oh, I didn't see that coming. I just think keeps it interesting, keeps you on your toes. I think it's a goal of mine. I think some people who are well versed and can pick up on foreshadowing and elements that are in the book are going to figure out it more quickly.
We're down to less than a minute, so I'm going to be quiet. How about promote, if you will, your 3 books and your 4th book, and how people can get hold of your books?
So you can find me on Amazon.com. If you search Michelle Flick, all of my books will appear. You can get them on Kindle, or you can get them in paperback. You can find me on Facebook as well. It's Michelle Flick Author. If you want to find me and connect with me there, up on the screen is my final installment for the South Shore series. It wraps everything up with a nice little bow, which I enjoy when a series concludes. But you'll find 4 great love stories of 4 very different couples and realistic, I think, struggles and overcomings and happy moments that are tied up, and again, in a nice, neat bow in a book.
Terrific. Michelle, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. It was
And, you know, when you get that next series going, let me know.
I'll call you.
We'll talk some more. Folks, you've been watching Chautauqua Sunrise, and my guest today has been Michelle Flick, a local author who's telling us about her series here, the South Shore series. Check her out. I would encourage you. And we're going to do this all again next Saturday morning here at Access Chautauqua. And we've just got a whole slew of more guests coming months to come into the future. So have a great weekend. Enjoy, as Linda said, the beautiful weather for those of us that are living in Chautauqua County at the moment. So wherever you are in the world, I hope you're safe, be well, and we'll see you next time. I'm Doc Hamels. Bye now.